Project 40 by Alec Bradley. Experimental series. Ooh, fancy, fancy pants. Hey, everybody, my game. This is Cigar Vlog. So, I don't know anything about this other than the fact that it says experimental series, so I have no idea what the experiment is. Also, I think like half of Canada is on fire right now, so everything smells like a mix of like cologne and barbecue, which is a little weird. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get this sucker cut, lit, and see what's going on about it. Oh, also, I'm going to have to take these bands off because these are like loose as a goose. Okay. I don't usually point this out, but this one kind of stands out a little bit. It seems to have a pretty chunky triple cap there. I think something was trying to poke me in the leg. Right. Okay, looks pretty good. These bands are about to launch this thing out of my fingers. So good on them for not sticking to the wrapper, but at the same time, a little hard to hold on to. Right off the bat, creamy. Something else in there that is interesting, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe good quality tobacco? Clean? I don't know. There's something in there that is kind of confusing me. Which is always an interesting start because it means that there's something going on here. Earthy, creamy. I want to say almost a sweet note, but not quite. Interesting. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get out of the sticks here. Get this down to the first inch and see if anything wakes up. Okay, so about the first inch, and flavors have been a little baking spice in the retrohale, baking spice in the mouth, earthy, good clean tobacco. There's a subtle sweet every so often, and a loud idiot on a motorcycle. It's called a muffler for a reason. Apparently they don't work. Anyway, we'll have a kettle of fish on that one that we're not going to get into. So far, flavor is kind of building. Yeah, there's a lot going on in here. Trying to pinpoint anything is going to be a little difficult because there is a pretty decent blend going on. So I'm going to go ahead and get this down to the halfway point and see if anything stands out, wakes up, or changes. I keep wanting to say something else, but it's like it's just going to be me complaining about the heat and loud motorcycles and bicyclists and dog walkers. Yeah, I'll get back to you at the halfway point. Okay, so we're down to about the halfway point, and this one's interesting. There's a few things going on. Overall flavor profile kind of reminds me of a little on the whiskey side of the mouth. Every so often I get the retrohale, and there's something almost perfumey going on, which is interesting, unusual, and interesting. Yeah, there's something. I want to say very subtly baking spice. All of a sudden the wind comes up. It's like, I know that's playing hell with my mic because I can feel the breeze blowing over everything. But yeah, there's some very subtle baking spice. Very, I want to say leaning towards the cinnamon heavy. Yeah, baking spice. No earthiness. Overall, interesting. So far, turning out to be a rather good choice. Pretty sure everybody's going to get something a little different off of these, just because there is a lot going on, and trying to figure out what it is. I think, you know, it's like I keep saying with cigars like this. Everybody's going to have something a little different. Depends on how your mouth is keyed. So anyway, I'm going to get this down to the nub and see if anything truly stands out, or if it all just turns into one big grand symphony. Yeah, I just pulled that out of my ass. Okay, anyway. I'm going to get this down to the nub, and I'll see if I can come up with any other corny ass lines. Alright, I'll get back to you at the nub. Okay, so I think we got pretty much down to the nub here. Ooh. Sunshine. Hurt my eyeball. And a flake on my tongue. Okay, so flavors have been fairly consistent. And I'm going to say consistent with, say, a loud motorcycle. I'm going to say consistent with a good scotch. At points, a very peaty scotch. Or a good coffee. That's my drink recommendations. There's not so much sweet, as occasionally you'll get a sweet note, but more often than not, I'm getting solid classic cigar flavor. So you got a little bit of baking spice, a little bit of earthiness, a little bit of good clean tobacco, quality tobacco. Occasionally a slightly perfumey note in the retrohale. And after the halfway point, I've kind of noticed there's a developing nutty quality to it. I think probably the most interesting thing about this is trying to figure out exactly what the mix of flavors is that you're getting. Or so I'll have to look behind me, make sure I'm not going to end up getting a bicyclist up my ass. They have a bad habit of just like hauling ass through here. Especially when you get those guys on the electric scooters. It's like I just keep waiting for one of those guys to hit like the wrong rock and just like end up into a tree. Okay, wait. I swear there's like a random people spawner somewhere around here I need to dig up and check into the bin. Anyway. So far, it definitely seems to be a decent quality. Well, actually, very, very good quality. Very interesting flavor cigar. By all means, check them out. I swear, if the sun's out, there's somebody on a motorcycle. Yeah, overall, interesting cigar, trying to figure out what exactly is going on. Like I said, it kind of has a good kind of whiskey-ish profile. So if you're basically if you're into whiskeys, you'll probably be into this one. If you're into good coffee, you'll probably be into this. If you're into really, really sweet dessert cigars, probably not, because it's not really that sweet. But it's got just a nice little spiciness to it. That's the thing about it, it's like there's so much going on, it's kind of hard to just nail it down to like what exactly it is that you're getting. Back in the shade, thank you. Okay. So anyway, wrapping up. I don't know what's experimental about them, but I can say they are good. Definitely check them out if the price isn't too dear. Other than that, yeah, I can't think of anything else to add. So, yeah, good cigar. Check them out. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. So if you like this review, any other review, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you had a different experience. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I will see you all next time.